All right, guys. Just got done watching the movie, and let me just throw it out there to you that don't know me personally. But I'm a big James Bond super fan. She's a fan. I'm a super fan. I mean, I even enjoy over time. I've even enjoyed On Her Majesty's Secret Service even now. As goofy as that movie is, and Moonraker is horrible, but I can at least pick out some enjoyable moments with the character of Jaws in that. Man, this was really disappointing, guys, and we have to warn you right now. If you're the type of person that absolutely hated Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, you will fucking hate this movie even more, okay? Now, we enjoyed Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. We thought it was a fun, exciting spy film. There's no fun, and there's no excitement, and we didn't give a shit about this fucking spy shit, okay?
There was some humor.
There's moments.
There was some humor, and I enjoyed the humor. And
yes.
I'm still on the fence, because towards the end of this movie, it was starting to feel like a Mission Impossible movie. Because by the end, you've got Moneypenny, you've got Q, you've got M, and you've got this other guy that the guy who plays Frankenstein on Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, the monster.
I'm not sure what his name in the movie is.
Right.
But they all kind of team up and work together to help out James and to figure out it really felt like a Mission Impossible movie. And I don't know if I like that or not, because James Bond is kind of like, he gets his gadgets and then he goes off and he does his thing. And it was like they were almost taking cues from Mission Impossible in this.
The plot itself was pretty similar to Rogue Nation. I mean, it was very similar. But just really disappointing, guys. I mean, we loved Casino Royale. I was one of the Daniel Craig haters. I mean, I was one of those guys that saw the poster and I was like, James Bond? What the hell is this? I saw Casino Royale, that very opening awesome action sequence. But the parkour chase, I was like, dude, this is awesome. He won me over in that one. And Quantum of Solace was just freaking boring, okay? This movie is not terrible.
No, it's a really competent movie.
It's not terrible. We still like it better than Quantum of Solace. But it's just so much wasted potential. We're talking everyone is wasted. Now, the good things in this film are that the performances are well done. Nobody phones it in. It's shot beautifully. The soundtrack's good. The beginning of the film has this amazing tracking shot. This goes on forever. I don't know how they did that. That was really cool. But just, man.
I have to say something. I knew we were in trouble when we had this really grand opening of Day of the Dead festival celebration going on in Mexico City. And you had all of these people dressed up, and there was just like this huge just party going on in the streets. And up above, the opening action sequence takes place in the helicopter, and it's supposed to prelude to the credit sequence, as you do in a James Bond movie. And I was not feeling it. I felt like it was empty.
Were you bored?
You
were bored, weren't you?
It was kind of just
Yeah.
It was just like
Which should have been exciting, because you see the two stuntmen on the outside of the helicopter, I mean, doing real stunts. That's exciting to me. That should have been exciting. But I was bored. I was bored. I'm sorry, you guys. I mean, we were really excited to see this movie, but everyone is wasted. Bautista, wasted.
You could have cut Bautista's character out of the entirety of the movie.
Waste.
You would not be missing much.
Okay.
One of the worst eye gouging scenes I have ever seen. Guess what? If somebody gouges out your eyes, it's just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
You won't scream.
You won't scream in horror.
It's not like, it's just kind of like, ow. Well, ow.
No, it's like. That's it. That's it.
I've had worse.
Just, Bautista was wasted. Monica Bellucci, who I thought for years easily should have been a Bond girl, way long time ago. She's in this movie. What? She's in the movie for fucking 5 minutes?
To be a fuck buddy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
What the fuck? Why even have her on the damn posters and shit?
I really got a kick out of how she got stripped down by James Bond to have an off-screen love scene, and then comes back and she's in like this tight bustier. Like you just had sex and now you're in a tight, confining bit of stuff that's supposed to get the guy interested in you, and that's it.
And that's it.
Never to be seen again.
We never see her again. We don't know if she dies later or if she lived.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Believe me, it doesn't. It does not. That has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Now, we wanted to do, originally, what we wanted to do was we wanted to watch Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and then Skyfall. We wanted to rewatch it because we heard that this film ties everything together.
And it does.
It does in a way.
It does.
We didn't get a chance to do that, so we kind of just rushed into this movie. And maybe if we watched the first three, maybe some things we would have been a little bit more invested. But I was fucking bored, man.
Yeah. I'm going to try to focus on the positives really quick.
Yes, there's some positives.
Again, I did enjoy the bits of humor that worked.
Bits.
Christoph Waltz probably had...
Wasted.
He probably had about 10 minutes of screen time.
10 minutes of screen time.
2.5 hour snore fest.
Way too long.
And I will say, while he was wasted, by the end of the movie, I did like what they did with him. I will say that as somebody who has seen all the James Bond movies.
That was nice.
And appreciates certain villains that have shown up throughout the franchise history.
No spoilers.
I did enjoy what they did with him.
Yes, that was fun.
But
But still, could have been
a lot better.
Way more awesome.
I did enjoy the train fight between Bond and Bautista.
Best part of the film.
Definitely. It was
the train fight.
It was a perk up moment. I was kind of
like, yeah.
And then, okay, we have something happening. Only for it to lead into the mandatory second fuck buddy sequence.
Which is expected in a way, because it's a Bond movie.
True. And I did enjoy the music. Thomas Newman is one of my favorite composers out there. He creates some of the most subtle and beautiful soundtracks that I've ever heard. I love listening to his stuff. Sam Mendes, the director, he did Skyfall. I really enjoyed Skyfall. A lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah.
I always feel Bond has had this really uncomfortable job of towing a line and paying homage to their camp that they used to be. And Dalton's era had this problem where Dalton's Bond tried to do a complete departure from the Roger Moore era and the cheesier, more goofy era, and people didn't accept it. And I thought that GoldenEye was a really good way to kind of drag Bond into the 90s. And that was my favorite Pierce Brosnan movie. The further you went with Brosnan, the more goofy it got again. Yeah. And I thought Casino Royale was a lot like GoldenEye in the Dalton era, where it was brutal, it was
straight
gritty.
Serious. He wasn't messing around.
Yeah, there was no like camp in that movie at all. And I felt like, well, I like it from a movie standpoint, but if you're a fan of the James Bond camp era, then you're probably getting left out a little bit. And I felt like Skyfall is what tried to bridge the two.
Yeah.
And now we kind of went a little more camp in this. And I don't really know if I like it. I felt like it was a little more kooky in some spots. Where the fuck did that net come from in that building at the end of the movie?
Characters grab each other. They jump off in the building, and as they fall down, there just happens to be a net there. And this net was not established, as far as I know. So how would this person know that there's a net there?
They kidnap Bond at the end. They put this hood over his head. They take him to this building, and it seems like the original purpose was to drag him into the building to meet up with Christoph Waltz, only for him to break free from the guys, lift off the hood, and then there's this elaborate setup to where he's supposed to follow all these clues, and he's supposed to see this and that and this
all
and that.
It was pointless.
And it was like, why?
It was all pointless.
They tried to have this connection between Waltz's character and James Bond, and it didn't work for me. It didn't hit home for me at all. It was supposed to be this big thing, and instead it was just like, who cares?
No. Not invested.
No.
Not invested.
No.
Now here's the thing. When we're not invested with the plot, okay? What's left? The action. This better have some great action sequences to wake us up and keep us invested with the mediocre average plot. The action was bland. The action was bland. You have a car chase sequence with Bautista chasing Bond. Boring.
Sam Mendes is apparently a big fan of drifting in vehicles.
But it was boring.
It was boring. And then there were some action sequences that were few and far between, but there were some points where the music would drown out any sound effects that there might have been. In the helicopter, I remember, I couldn't tell if it was an artistic choice where they wanted it to be like, oh, well, the craziness and the pressurization of what was going on up in the air made it so that the people couldn't hear what was going on in the cockpit of the chopper. And so all you heard was music, and you would see people hitting each other, but you didn't hear anything, and then you would kind of hear it muffled, and I was like, is that deliberate, or did we just not care about the sound
Where's
effects?
the excitement? Excitement. Does anybody remember James Bond picking up a nail gun and shooting somebody in the fucking head from Casino Royale? Does anybody remember the really awesome, cool shot in Skyfall when you have Bond, dark silhouette shadow shot of by the window in the building, and he's fighting this other dude, and they're beating the shit out of each other, and the music's pumping, and you can see the fight in detail, and it zooms closer. I've always loved that shot, and I always wanted that fight to at least be 30 seconds longer. Nothing like that in this movie. There's nothing like that. And what's left? You got mediocre plot. You got bland action, besides the really cool train fight that was way too short, in my opinion. What's left? Characters. And everyone was wasted. Your villain can save a movie. Your villain could really save an average mediocre film.
And what they ended up doing with Waltz.
Christoph Waltz is in the movie, 3 scenes.
He could have saved it. What they end up doing with him, they could have saved it. But I'm sorry, Bardem is still my favorite villain.
Yeah.
You saw him more. He was much more interesting.
Oh, you mean to tell me this is the end of the Daniel Craig era? This is so sad.
Yeah.
If this is the end of the Daniel Craig era.
If this is his final movie.
This is so underwhelming way to go out, man.
I'm disappointed. I really ended up. When I first heard about Daniel Craig being James Bond, I didn't really see him in a lot. I had only known him from the first Tomb Raider movie. And I thought, well, that's a little strange. He's blonde, but if he turns out a good performance, who cares? And luckily, he turned out a good performance. The movie was really good. And I've been hooked on him ever since. And he's been a great James Bond. Mm-hmm. And this is not right. I'm sure this movie will do fine. Sometimes when it comes to movies like this, we do end up being in the minority. And this movie might do really well. And if it does, I'm hoping that we're going to get another movie out of him, only just...
To save it?
To save it. But
They're predicting this to make more money than Skyfall. I don't know.
How?
The tone in this just fell off, like you were saying earlier. But I mean, that's why we enjoyed Skyfall. But everyone's all, oh, Skyfall's overrated. And like, dude, did you watch Quantum of Solace? Quantum of Boredom? Boredom of Solace?
And I liked how they tried to...
Boredom of Solace.
I liked how Skyfall tried to...
You'll be bored.
Tried to, fuse the two, because James Bond is what it is. And, if you want to take Bond seriously, you do have to tweak it here and there, but you don't want to alienate the old fans, and I thought Skyfall did that really well. This one, I'm not sure.
Entertain us. Filmmakers, entertain us. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Sorry, you out there that expected us to rave about this movie. I kind of expected to rave about it. I mean, I was really excited, but it was just so disappointing and underwhelming, but not a terrible movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not like I hate this movie, okay? The fight sequence alone in the train is better than the entire movie of fucking Boredom of Solace, okay? So there's some positives. So it's not horrible. It's not a horrible movie. I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. What are you going to give it?
I have a theory that when I eventually go back and watch Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, and Skyfall, I might be ending up feeling differently about this. Maybe I'll appreciate it. And here's the thing. This could make a difference. If this movie does not get a sequel connecting what they've already started in this one, in terms of what they did with Christoph Waltz's character. If they do not continue on with him and continue on to the next movie with this establishment, I will drop this to a 3. But I'm going to take a gamble and say that if this ties together as well as I think it might, I'm going to give it a 3.2.
No, you're being generous.
Again,
more generous than me.
Seriously though, if I rewatch the movies and it doesn't connect and they do not sequel, because the way this movie ended, I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated the ending of this movie with a passion. I can't give anything away, but I didn't like it. And so if it ends there, this movie drops to a 3. But for now, because of what they did do in some areas, a 3.2. And that's me being generous.
Yeah. So, again, we leave you with that. Let us know what you guys thought of Spectre. We really want to know. Like, maybe we missed what was awesome and amazing about this film. Please let us know in the comments below what you thought of the film. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time. Oh, there's one good thing that came out of today. Something that I'm sure will give me more action, more excitement that I did not get with Spectre. Black Ops 3, woo!
Tool.
Oh, it's fun. See you guys next time.
Oh my God.